I just finished watching Materialists and ran to TikTok to see what people are saying, and I was not disappointed because the critique is harsh and for good reason. There's gonna be spoilers, obviously, so I wanted to add something to the conversation. How women in the movie are just abandoning their values and abandoning themselves in the process just for the chance to be chosen by a man. What's so horrid about this movie is that instead of growing, we are watching two women disappearing. Starting with Lucy, she starts off as this independent matchmaker. She's young, she's successful, she's beautiful, she lives in New York, she has a life that she built from what we learn later. She started off not in the easiest terms. She watches this whole trope of marriage from an interesting perspective. She has this kind of unique way of separating herself from the propaganda of marriage. When they crash the wedding, she says he's handing off the bride from the father to the groom, and they're gonna start fighting and hate each other and be divorced and all that. So she's kind of aware about how this institute is selling us lies, especially as women. Her coworker asked her, "Are you dating anyone?" She says, "No, I'm a celibate by choice. I'd rather stay single, die alone, or find someone really rich." That's the opening position. And I think this is the best place that she's been before she starts stepping back one step at a time. So the first step is when the rich guy comes along and she does not choose him. Actually, she's more interested in him as a client, but he says, "No, I don't want to be your client. I'm interested in you romantically." She's not interested in the beginning, but because he's interested in her, and this is being chosen by male attention, she's like, "Okay, I know I said I want to stay single and celibate, but there's a man coming along, he's rich, so I'm gonna give it a try," right? So that's the first step backwards. And then it turns out that not only is he rich, but also he's not stereotypically mean and condescending, treats women as trash, even though he seemed to have it all, right? Everything that has going on for him. So we're like, "Oh my God, is this even possible? He's a unicorn, and he's interested in her not only for her perceived value, but for her true self. He sees her non-materialistic values," right? So that's amazing. But she then takes another step back and says, "Wait, I'm not in love with you. You're not in love with me." And then she breaks up with him to go back to her ex-boyfriend, whose relationship with him was a failure to begin with. He kind of stayed as this broke actor trying to make it in New York. She started in the same place, but now she's a successful matchmaker with like a stable income and real place for a career there. But the relationship didn't work because he was not what she wanted for her life. So they broke it off for a good reason. So why would you go back to that? And then the ultimate step back of settling back and submitting back to the whole "you're nothing if you're not choosing love and sacrifice for love." She gets the proposal from John, what's his name, saying that he cannot give her anything except for loving her until the rest of days, which, there's a lot of talk, but talk is cheap, right? But whatever, this is supposed to be romantic, so she just drops all of her values and beliefs about that marriage isn't anything that she would consider unless it's something that improves her life. And then she just throws that because there's this John character who says that he loves her. I mean, is that a good reason to toss all of your personality, history, values, beliefs? Obviously, it's not gonna work between them, sadly. And then the worst part of it was when he proposed with, will you take the worst financial decision of your life and marry me? And she says yes. Like, I don't know why, but he's spelling it out for you. A guy that says it from the beginning, it's not gonna get any better. It's gonna get way worse, because whenever something's gonna get worse and you're not satisfied, he's gonna push back and say, you knew what you were getting into, right? I mean, everything goes south, but I still love you. So you knew that from the beginning. Why are you complaining, right? She's just putting herself into a trap. Look where she started. Where she ends up is so much worse. She is quitting her job for an unknown reason. She lost any hope for escaping her past, and she chose a relationship that she knows is not gonna work out, because it didn't in the past, just to self-sacrifice. And then there's Sophie's story, and I want to talk about that, but I'm out of time, so I'm gonna do a part 2.